Hello everybody and welcome back to Magic 2015. We're going to start the second quest, which should actually be shorter than the first one. So I might be able to get more quests into one video, whereas the other one took like 20 minutes.
For your second quest, you'll be using a black deck. Black's specialty is removing your opponent's creatures. Your opponent is Azure Mage.
While black specialty is removing creatures, and that's true, its specialty is also discarding from like the opponent's hand, and it's using your own life force. So my 20 life, which is now 4, both are 4, so never mind about that, but using your own life force to get ahead. So I'll pay 2 life to draw 2 cards, that kind of thing, you know. Sacrificing minions to get ahead.
In progress. As you can see, a lot of dueling has gone on so far. But with no creatures on the battlefield, it'll take a miracle to survive the next few turns. It's Azure Mage's turn, and she attacks with her last remaining creature, bringing your life total to 2.
So obviously we don't have anything out here, so we can't do anything. We don't even have anything in hand.
This looks promising. You've drawn Assassinate, a sorcery. Sorceries are cards intended to be used a single time.
So, like I was saying before with like creatures and stuff, they can be played in your 2 main phases, and you have the first main phase, and then you have combat in the second main phase. There's a lot of cards out there that also add main phases, or just crazy stuff like that. So,
Assassinate is a card that can destroy a creature of your choice, as long as it's tapped. Since you're at 2 life, you'd better use it on Azure Mage's creature before it kills you.
So obviously we're just going to use that to kill that. Assassinate's a little overcosted, in a sense. It's not a great card. There's a lot.
Azure Mage will cast some spells. Divination allows the player to draw 2 cards, a signature blue spell.
Yeah, there's Divination.
Now your opponent has a creature that has a special ability. Zoom in on the card.
So obviously it has flying, and I know we will be playing one, but so there's only 2 things that can block flying creatures unless otherwise stated, and that's a creature with flying or a creature with something called reach. Reach can't do the same thing as flying. Reach still attacks. If you think about it, flyers are up here, and then creatures on the ground are down here. So a creature on the ground can only attack on the ground. A creature with flying attacks above. So if you have 2 creatures with flying, they can attack each other. If you have a creature on the ground, and it has reach, usually that's like a bow, or it's, you know, something that can climb high for whatever reason, and will attack that. But it still attacks on the ground. So that's just something to know. Usually blue is a signature flyer, and green has the signature reach. So it's just something to think about. In this instance, I'm pretty sure we get a flying creature.
Without another Assassinate card, you have no way to destroy Azure Mage's Windrake. What will you do to stay alive?
Now, so obviously he has flying, and you can kind of see when they hover, they're flying in this game. Obviously, in real life, your cards don't hover like that to tell you they're flying. So that's a big boy.
Now you're in serious trouble. That Goliath Sphinx can kill you with 1 hit. But the good news is that your Vampire Nighthawk can kill any creature it deals damage to because it has Death Touch.
So another thing she doesn't mention is that it also has lifelink, which means that whenever it deals damage, which it'll do 2 damage. It'll also heal us. So to heal us for that same amount of damage it does. So it's going to deal 2 damage and heal us back to 4. So when we block this guy, which we will, when we block this guy, we'll heal 2 damage, but that thing will still deal 2 damage, which would be lethal if we didn't get that health back from the Nighthawk. So we're just putting this guy down. He's nothing special, 4/3, but it will be enough to kill her after she attacks us with both.
Here's an interesting decision. Do you attack with your Vampire Nighthawk? If you do, you won't have any untapped creatures to block the Goliath Sphinx with.
Now, obviously, while she is right, if we just attacked, we would get blocked by this most likely, because she wouldn't waste her Sphinx blocking us. So we just skip attack and wait for her to attack us. Kind of the same way I do with Hearthstone with my taunt creatures. I make them attack me so I don't have to bother ruining a creature. So she's just attacking with this one, which makes sense. But we're going to keep that 2 health we would have otherwise had, and we're going to kill this guy. And we're going to gain 2 life back. So yeah, the Nighthawk dies by a lot, as you can see there. But so does that guy, just because it has Death
Drawn
Touch.
a powerful sorcery. Rise from the grave can reanimate creatures that are in a graveyard. Now's your chance to take that Goliath Sphinx as your own.
So an important thing to note with this card, put target creature from a graveyard, not your own graveyard, onto the battlefield under your control. So it has to be a creature card, and it has to be in the graveyard, obviously. That creature is a black zombie in addition to its other creatures and types, which is an important thing to note because we could personally have things that buff black creatures, or it could buff zombies, or the opponent could have things that block that have something called protection from black or from zombies actually, or could instantly kill. Usually that's white. Usually white is the color of not only protection but also protection from zombies or instant kill zombies and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and bring this one, the Sphinx, back because it's a very powerful card.
It appears safe to attack with your zombie Goliath.
So we're just gonna attack with the zombie Goliath, which she'll most likely block with the flyer. Yes. Oh, and it should be noted that yeah, flying can block ground stuff, which I didn't mention before, and that was my bad.
Now swing in for the win.
And obviously we could have played the swamp there, but there is no reason to. And this is 8 damage overkill. One thing I really like about Magic over like Hearthstone is that overkill I can do, because
as you play more Magic,
you'll still do
run
that
into
lethal
many
damage, but you
kinds
can
of spells and creature abilities. Look for spells that fit your playstyle. In Quest 3, we'll learn about spells with more permanent effects.
You can do actual lethal damage and then overkill like by so much. So much. So we're going to the 3rd quest, yeah, where we're fighting a black deck. And I'm glad I could put 2 in one video because that last one was pretty long and this one was much quicker. A lot less I felt like I had to explain
You'll
here.
be using a white deck. White's specialty is amassing an army of small, efficient creatures. Your opponent is Onyx Mage.
Now, another thing, she is correct that it is great at amassing small, efficient creatures, but usually has like one really big creature that buffs them all, or you know, makes them really strong. So, like Avacyn here is a card that gives all your other creatures. She costs a lot, and she's an angel, so she'll cost like 7 mana, I think, is something like that. And then she gives all permanents indestructibility and then hexproof, which means they can't be destroyed, and they can't be the target of spells, which is hexproof. Or opponent spells, I should say. So we've got 2 Glory Seekers out, which is pretty cool.
You've drawn an enchantment.
Enchantment!
Enchantments are powerful spells whose effects are constant as long as it remains on the battlefield. Honor of the Pure, for example, increases the power and toughness of all your white creatures.
And as she said, so I gotta pay 1 white mana and 1 colorless for that. And as she said, you can see right here, white creatures you control get +1/+1. So that does put +1/+1 on these ones. They're not a permanent thing, because if this gets destroyed in any way, then those buffs are gone.
See how your creature's power and toughness have increased? Now, attack on also. Your Honor of the Pure will affect all your creatures as long as it remains on the battlefield.
So kind of what I was saying before, but because that one red that you might have remembered in the first game, Vampire, has something called counters, which are more, not exactly permanent, but are basically permanent. So he's going to put out a big zombie, and he is one big zombie, enough to not only kill both my Glory Seekers, but enough that it'll take both of my Glory Seekers to...
Onyx Mage has put a stop to your advancing army. If you attack now, the results might not be...
No, they'll be terrible, because if I am left defenseless, he will deal 4 damage to me, and I am only at 4 health. Now, this is interesting.
Now you have a chance to take care of this Minotaur problem. Creatures have the ability to block in groups. In this situation, your Glory Seekers will be able to destroy the Minotaur Abomination. But in the process, one of your Glory Seekers will also die.
Okay, so, like she said, one of my Glory Seekers will die. So basically how this works is, he's going to be able to deal 4 damage in total. There used to be I'm pretty sure it used to be that, it would deal 4 damage to both of these guys, so it'll deal 4 damage, it'll do 4 damage, both of them would die. But now it's, it deals, damage picked by the player, so him. So he'll deal 3 damage to this one and 1 damage to this one. He could deal 2 damage to both, 2 damage to that one, 2 damage to that one, etc., etc. But won't kill them. So he's gonna deal that. And one of my Glory Seekers, unfortunately, will rip in peace. So there's that 3 damage, and then there's that 1 damage. But both of them managed to kill him. So now he plays Nightmare, which, as you can see, Nightmare's power and toughness are equal to the number of swamps you control, and he controls 8 swamps.
A special kind of enchantment, an aura. While enchantments affect the game globally, auras affect specific things, usually creatures. This one looks especially useful right now. This aura allows you to target any creature on the battlefield.
And yeah, pacifism is one of the best auras that there are. It doesn't deal with creature abilities, which I'll get into probably next time, because we deal with creature abilities next time. So this one is just fine because he doesn't have any abilities that he can activate, which like I said, we'll get into.
Nightmare has been pacified. It's time to renew your attack.
So we're going to attack with the 3 from the Glory Seeker, which is awesome. Because he has nothing to block with. Because if you didn't read, pacifism means he can't attack or block. He can still activate his abilities if he had any activated abilities. So enchanted creature gets -2/-2. She's going to put on my own guy, obviously,
Onyx
to make
Mage
her a
has
1/1.
cast an aura on your Glory Seeker. The effect...
And then he's going to play a Walking Corpse, which is more than enough to deal with my Glory Seeker.
Night Guard Patrol has some special abilities. Zoom in.
So, is she going to say what? There we go. So I'll just tell you what these 2 do. First Strike means he he deals damage in essentially a different combat phase kind of thing. He has priority to attack, so he'll do 2 damage, and if that kills the creature, that creature doesn't get to do anything. But if it doesn't kill that creature, then that creature gets to attack him. So first strike basically means he has a chance to attack like a creature with really great power, like if it's a 5/2, he's going to kill it and have no problem. But if it's a 5/3, he's going to die and the other one's going to survive. What vigilance means is he does not tap when he attacks, so he can just keep attacking and have no problem because he doesn't need to, because he can still defend as well, which is awesome. So very awesome card right now, which actually puts him at a 3/2 because Honor of the Pure. Now obviously I'm going to skip my attack, not that it lets me attack anyway, because that zombie would just kill my poor Glory Seeker. Now the reason he didn't attack is just because Night Guard or Patrol would instantly kill him. And obviously I'm going to attack now. So he's going to block the lethal damage obviously and just get his, so you can see there's that first combat phase, that zombie died, so he does not get a second. I call it combat phase, but it's not actually that, so don't quote me on that part. Now obviously we could have played these 2 planes on the last 2 turns, but there was no point because I was just going to draw another planes, which sucks. Because I could have, you know, drawn another enchantment or something that might have been useful. So now we have more than lethal, and we're just going to kill him.
As you play more Magic, remember that enchantments can help you win the game, either by improving your creatures, removing your opponent's creatures, or other cool effects. In Quest 4, we'll learn some tricky spells and interactions.
And I should note, this is like my profile, my Magic Planeswalker guy, because it's the one I picked. I didn't really like the look of almost all of the other ones. There's one I like, but it's gonna make me play freaking 100 multiplayer games and win them, so I'm not gonna get that one for a long time. So this one has gone almost to 20 minutes as well, so like I said, I'm gonna try and keep these as brief as possible. We still got 3 more quests to do, and I will see you when the adventure begins. Now somebody hit my music.